Yeah, yeah. What it do? Yeah. You are tuned in to another episode of The Hot Seat with your boy, PJ Thomas. I got my boy CLB Yavo playing automatic right now. Let's get it. Yeah. Like this vibe right here. Yeah. I'm on automatic, make this shit stunting like my daddy, ho, I feel like Weezy. Played this song for a couple of reasons, so we're gonna talk about Weezy in the Super Bowl. Not making it to be the music in the Super Bowl, the artist representing the Super Bowl right now so far. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. I can mix with a bad pose. Fake look, you can keep. I ain't had it since I had goals. I ain't got no peace. Little that from my bad goals. Yeah. On them with the coordinate. If we racing you in foreplay, kick and play, but that's my forte. I'm fucking with you like the fourth day. Don't talk at your age, cause rich people kill what Forbes say. Just CLB Yabo. The album on the tour day. I'm trying to make a meal and always try to see the side. Yeah. Second stay out the way, cause niggas dealing with their pride. Yeah. I don't care what you do, but I'll probably help you make it. Yeah. Everybody gotta win. I'm not into doing things. Yeah. I guess it's cause I'm too paid. And rich worth more than fame. Yeah. I don't care what you say. I don't like to hear complaining. In the world I'm dangerous. Cause I control my anger. Yeah. And now I'm playing with strangers. Cause I hate shit contagious. Y'all stay with me, man. Y'all know I like to support my local artists in the city any way I can, whether it's playing them on the radio, on 98.3 The Beat. Shout out to 98.3 The Beat, Columbus, Georgia. Or whether it's on the hot seat that's played everywhere. Found out I got some viewers out in the Philippines and some viewers out in Australia, man. A couple people reached out to me last week, man, said they enjoyed the show. So, look, keep tuning in, man. I'm on automatic, make this shit look easy. I'm on automatic, make this shit look easy. Yeah. All right, y'all. That was Automatic by CLB Yavo, one of my favorite artists. I ain't even gonna say local artists. One of my favorite artists, period, man. That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. That CLB Yavo, man. Hey, he be going off. I love his vibe. I love he can do some Cali type music. He can do some down south grunge type stuff. He can do, all types of music, man. I like versatile artists like that. But we're gonna get into the show today. Now I realized that the caption wasn't, too engaging this time. So, a lot of people might not pull in, but I think, especially if you have children of the elementary, middle school ages, the beginning of this show is definitely going to be one you want to pay attention to. And then we're going to get into some of the more spicier content with what is a freak. Now, but I want to go PG for this first part because I just in this Tri-City area alone, for those who don't know, if you're just tuning in, it's your first time listening to me, I live in Columbus, Georgia. All right, this is where I podcast and do radio from the majority of my shows. There have been recent school, not shootings, but letters was written. There have been threats. There's been phone calls about in different schools in this area. Now, what I need people to understand is I know some of us don't take them seriously because maybe we were back in the day the type of kids that, did that to get out of school, pull the fire alarm, maybe even call in a little bomb threat or something like that to get out of class. If you was that type of kid, cool. But these kids are different today. They're built different. They do things different. Now, we had our fair share amount of school shootings and things like that in the past. I know a lot of people, easy reference is Columbine. Then more recently, Sandy Hook. But these kids is different now. So I need y'all to understand that. Sir Anthony, appreciate to you, cuzzo. What's up with you, man? For tuning in. These kids is different. And I'm 38 years old. So I remember, pulling the fire alarm, and I'm talking about me, so we can get out of class and have fun. Ha 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 ha. It was funny, all that type of stuff. But they going above and beyond now. And I think we need to pay attention because some of these kids are going farther than we would ever have dreamed to go. They're not threatening. Now, if you look at the statistics of shootings that happen just in general, not just school shootings, okay, it's 70% of all of the shootings are done in Columbus, Georgia, in this in Tri-City area. Um, you know, and when I say Tri-City, I'm gonna push it out further too. I'm talking about Talbotton, Casita, out there, what we consider the country. Uh, Shout out to y'all though. It's like 70% of all gun violence is done by people who are 25 years and under. And then it's something like over 50%, it's even younger than that. And so we got to understand like what is going on. So we got two choices. We can either be reactionary and deal with things after, or we can be proactive. Now, reactionary is easier, but things have already happened. So what are we going to do to be proactive? I've came up with a couple of things that I think that we should do, but every time I bring them up to somebody, they give me counterpoints, and it's always about how these kids will feel. Okay. Personally, I feel that we're raising these children to be punks. We're worried about feelings a little too much and not worried about lives. Okay. I need y'all to understand this. I would rather my son feelings be hurt and he be alive than he feels comfortable in the situation and then he's dead. And I understand that's an extreme, but this is an extreme conversation. And I need people to understand this. You might not quite agree with me. But the first thing that I think we need to do is we need to have a bigger police presence in these schools. Okay. That understand that most of these kids are kids, and they actually are kids. So don't put the ones that have the issues and have already not domestic, but a lot of issues already. Don't put the riffraff in there. Put the ones that don't have a lot of calls on them for police brutality and things like that. We need to have more than just one stationed at a school. Why? Because there's more than one entrance to a school most of the time. And sometimes those doors are unlocked or are left unlocked by accident, or people forget to close them, however you want to put it. People make mistakes. I worked at an after school program years ago. I remember it was passed down that we were supposed to lock the doors every time we go and take the kids outside. Sometimes we didn't do it. Me being a man, I felt comfortable with I leave it unlocked and whatever. But anybody could have gotten that school during that time frame. And the reason why I'm saying this is we need to worry about our kids' safety more at school. Our kids are around their friends in that school for a larger point in time than they really are with us. Okay. Think about it. Even when your kids are home, at nighttime, they're asleep a majority of the time. So yeah, they might be with you from, even if they leave school at 4:00 and they're here at 4:30. But after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12, they sleep. They get more time in school than they do at your house. So we need more than just one police officer at all these schools. Some don't even have them sometimes. Also, they don't be there sometimes. I can go into, I remember I used to go to Arnold when my kids were in middle school. Police officer up in there, be busy playing around in the middle of the school, flirting with the teachers and all that stuff, ain't paying attention to nothing. I done walked all through that school for 30 minutes before I see a single officer. Then if the teachers see you a couple of times, they kind of gloss over. Now, at first, especially me being a bigger male, black male or whatever, they'll say something the first couple of times in the beginning of a school year. But once they see you a couple of times, it's just human nature. Now I feel comfortable. But you never know what somebody is in there for. all different scenarios. I could have had permission to come and get my son, but now I lost custody. Now I'm still coming in there because I'm mad. There are a bunch of different reasons why parents shouldn't be allowed to just move how they want to move in a school system. I understand, parents, that you guys, we like to move how we need to move. We have work. We have other things to do. We have other kids to pick up. I respect your time and the effort and to do what you have to do as a parent. But however, we need to take into account the safety of everyone. You can't just move how you want to move. You can't just pull up, run in there, and snatch your child out of class. There's procedures. That's why you have to go into the front office. You have to show your ID. You have to talk to the people, and they say, okay, cool. They they check you. They send you back. They might send you back to the car, or they say, you can stand out there. You can't just go and walk around and go get your kid from class. There are reasons. Look at these shootings when they happen. Most of the time, there is a failure at a safety point that if at any time there was a person who had been there, could have potentially slowed that person down enough, the school could have been locked down and more lives could have been saved. But because a lot of times they get through the initial checkpoint, now they have access to a lot of kids that are in the cafeteria, a lot of kids that are in the auditorium. Okay, so that's one is I said that we need to have more police officers. So what's told against me is that we don't have the money for it. Okay, it always becomes a money thing. You have to pay these police officers extra, whatever. Cool. Or we need to hire more officers so we can have some, because you're taking officers from school duty or from the streets to put them in the schools. So we need to hire more officers to replace those ones that we're taking. Understood. I don't know if you need to take another penny. Y'all do this splice every like 2 years and y'all add an extra cent on. I done got used to it by now. Well, let's do it. By the way, if anybody has a comment, please type in your comments. It helps my algorithm. It helps the show. Give me a like if you don't mind, because it does help the algorithm. It helps me grow as a podcast, as a channel. And also, it allows me to be able to tailor my content to know what people are actually liking at the time and not liking. So thank you very much for that. So yeah, like Sir Anthony said, they are real different. And to get back to it, so that's one of the ways. Now, the most controversial way that I think that we can do is, I think that there needs to be an independent program set up for safety in schools. We need to talk to some of these security places that do this for a living, that understand, and they need to come in and have trainings with teachers on how to secure during that time, during the summertime. Yes, and a lot of this is we have to pay people, because you have to pay people your time, but we pay people for anything else. So when it comes to our children's safety, please, I should not be able to walk through a school and it takes 5 minutes for me to be spotted by someone before someone says, hey, what are you here for? Y'all think about it. Someone can be having a bad day and they get all the way through the school. So again, police presence. We need to have more than just one. We need to give trainings to teachers better. There's some teachers that don't even know the trick about putting the chair in the door to lock it. Like, there's really some that don't know that. Some people that don't know that. It's a way that you can stick the average size chair, that the metal plastic chairs that have metal on the bottom, and you can stick them in between the door, and there's a way to it blocks the door. That's the simplest thing that you can do. Then obviously you move all of the children from the site of the door as much as possible. put them in closets in the side, grab whatever weapon that you can, and be ready to fight if somebody comes in the door. That's all you can do as a teacher. But you still need to change. You still need to train these people. Okay. Now, the third thing is setting up an independent body of security people, former military people that will periodically check your school safety. They need to be paid from an independent body, not from the individual schools, so nobody can't give them any extra money. And a couple of times a year, they send somebody in. They do a lockdown because you need to practice. But what's told to me against that is, you know, and it was a good friend of mine, a mentor, somebody, that, I respect his opinion, but he's been at the school for 30 years. Well, the kids might freak out and, how they're going to respond to yada, 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 that might mess up their day and stuff like that. Well, my boy, I love you, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. But what was that? It was on one of those old school movies, Gone with the Wind. And my boy looked at her. She was doing a bunch of complaining. And he looked at her and he was like, frankly, my dear, I don't give a fuck. That's how I feel about when we talk about the kids being a little flustered. They might get scared. I think, okay. So I'm not going to beat that subject up. I think I've handled it enough. But those are my 3 ways to do it. But I really think that independent body is a great way to be able to push safety in the school system, along with advocating for change and for awareness. It also happens that all this stuff always comes up during the election cycle, but I'm not going to get into all of that. I try my best to stay away from politics. Because y'all talk about inflammatory stuff, y'all gonna get crazy. All right, so my next thing is, and it might be a weird transition or whatever. I'm gonna need y'all to understand this. We have to stop kink shaming in all respects. We need to stop niche shaming. I can't say the word, but basically there's a lot of, the topic is, what is a freak? Okay. And what I have to get people to understand is, and this is where this is stemming from. I did a event on last Friday. Went very, very well. It was marketed as a sex talk panel adult game night. Awesome night, great turnout. We went from about 8 to 12. People was dancing, having fun. We did all sorts of games. We didn't even get to half of the games that I had planned. That's just how, well it went. But, as usual, there's always going to be a few malcontents, people that, maybe didn't get what they want to out of it. But definitions of things mean what they mean. And I know sometimes we have our own definition, but it wasn't marketed as the freaks come out. It was marketed as an adult game night. It was a pajama party, lingerie, things like that. So I saw some comments basically saying that, people that were there, they weren't really freaks. They were just people that wanted to be half naked and twerk, or wanted to be naked and twerk. Well, first of all, no disrespect to anybody, but there's nothing wrong with being naked or half naked and twerking. But you also have to understand, as a business person, that these clubs only gonna want you to go so far. Okay. Even for my event, which was relatively tame, they said, hey, we need to post up on this window. We need to put black stuff on this window because we don't want people to see in, because you never know, cool. Nothing was out of line or anything like that. Everybody kept their clothes on. This was a true actual event, like adults would have it when they're just having a little fun. But again, there are some people that were upset. Now, my problem is not about individual opinions. Okay. My problem is about the gatekeeping of these type of worlds. Whereas if your level of freakiness or whatever doesn't compare to mine, so you're not as good or y'all aren't on the same level, like the whole reason why the society and world is the way that it is because of that type of thinking. The thinking that if you don't do what I do, then you're wrong, or if your level doesn't match mine, then you're not on my level. Like it's we got to stop that. That's a form of gatekeeping. And people in the BDSM world and as nerds and blurs and things of that nature should understand. A lot of us are part of those worlds. We felt we were ostracized for liking what we liked, for doing what we do. So why would you in turn put that same feeling and say that now? So you're becoming the same people that prosecuted you or that had something to say about you. So, okay, let's take out the feelings part. All right. Let's go with actual definitions. Okay. And because, feelings are okay. But again, they're just too much feelings a lot of times. People don't say what they mean what they say. Words are gonna mean what they mean, no matter how much you try to change them. So let me pull up. Give me a second to pull this up. Okay, so I was going down the rabbit hole. I was talking about, well, what is a freak? So first of all, if you look at Merriam-Webster definition, the first definition is a sexual deviant, and then the second is a person who uses an illicit drug. So I'm like, okay, all right, that's really. I don't like the term sexual deviant because that gives a negative connotation to being a freak. So again, that's my feeling. But however, the term that is being used most prevalently is that. Now, in that world, basically, the term can have multiple meanings when it comes to sex, including a sexual deviant or someone that is passionate about sex. Passionate about sex. A freak can also be someone who is completely invested in a sexual encounter, giving their all to it. Let me just say that again. A freak can also be someone who is completely invested in a sexual encounter, giving their all to it. They may be passionate in a way that goes beyond what others think they have. They may do things without hesitation, judgment, or regret. I think that's kind of where most people are going with that word nowadays. Now, I don't like to be judged. And I get that. Society has its rules, but I have a certain line of myself. So if I don't qualify as a freak or whatever to you, then that's fine. But I want people to understand especially when it comes to like events that we do, we put money towards these events. Okay. We put time, effort, and things like that. So sometimes when you say things, people know where you were and they can put two and two together. Now, I'm not going to address anybody specifically because business is business, but I wanted to talk about this because we got to stop gatekeeping. We have to stop just being ugly because it's not exactly, what I thought it was going to be or what I wanted it to be. Because I didn't market it as the freaks come out at night. That's not how it was marketed. It was sex talk, which means all types of things are allowed. And that's what it was. Now, could I have done better with letting more people have a voice? I did have to step up and say that we're not going to kink shame because If somebody likes scat, you go look what that is. What that is. If somebody is into uh BDSM, certain forms of it or whatnot. Let's say if they're into, the dom, or submissive, or they're into pain, or they're into, different stuff like that. That's them. But everybody, you know, I get what is kind of being said. Just because you have a lot of bodies doesn't make you a freak. Okay, I get that. But that's because the terms have changed throughout the years. So I will concede that. But let's stop the uppityness, the whole, because we all here. We got to stop that. So that's my issue with that. So when you actually look up what a freak is, there's no consensus definition, but a couple of places that tend to agree with it is more kind of like what I said. And I'm gonna read it again one more time. A freak is someone who is passionate about sex. They can also be someone who is completely invested in a sexual encounter, giving it their all. They may be passionate in a way that goes beyond what others think they have. They may do things without hesitation, judgment, or regret. Okay. So that's my TED Talk on that. Next, I'm going to talk about the Super Bowl stuff, right? First off, let me congratulate Kendrick Lamar. It's always a momentous thing when you are picked to headline a Super Bowl. The bump that you're going to get is going to be crazy because there's fans of football that aren't necessarily fans of your music. That is the most watched television hour ever. So, yeah, that's the reason why people pay tens of millions of dollars for a 30-second Super Bowl ad. The eyes are going to be on the screen. So congratulations to him. Respect for him doing this thing. I didn't have a dog in the fight in the whole Drake versus him stuff. I didn't care. I care about a fairness in judging, how we're judging all that type of stuff, because the fans of both either sides were gonna ever leave. But getting back to Kendrick, shout out to him for getting it. Now, do I feel he should have been the pick? Personally, no, and I can give reasons. Do I feel that Wayne should have been the pick? Personally, yes. I feel that he should have been one of the people representing Louisiana. Sometimes they tend to pick people in the area where you're from, but from a numbers perspective, they also want to go with the hot hand. Now, Wayne is still an international superstar. Lollipop is still played everywhere. Lollipop is overseas. Mr. Officer, everything from the Carter 3 and Carter 4 was on there. Anybody who's a hip hop fan who's older than 25 understands the dedication mixtapes, and they are almost unarguably, I don't think anybody has them less than the second best mixtape series of all time. Some people might have Fabulouses. Some people might have it's another guy I can't think of right now. Don't kill me. But they got him definitely in the top 5 of mixtapes series. They have him in, he's in most people's top 5 of artists greatest of all time, the GOAT. He's representing the South very well, him and Andre, as far as mainstream capability. Again, he's an international artist. I can't say that enough. The Super Bowl is an international thing. Yes, it's American football, but everybody watches it all over the world. And I think I don't care about the Jay-Z stuff. Jay-Z is a figurehead. Jay-Z don't make that damn decision, okay? He might help. He can be the final straw that if he jumps on something that's already got some motion and say, hey, I'm representing black people. Yo, this is how we want to ride. Cool. But he's not. So all of that, he paid for Wayne's stuff and all that shit ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Okay. I don't have proof of this, but I don't believe that the city itself chose that. I don't think Louisiana chose that. I'm gonna be real with you. I need to see some evidence. Now I don't have evidence against it. Tried to look it up, tried to research it last day and a half since the story's been out, really. That right there has came out after the fact when people were saying, well, why don't Louisiana want them? Or why don't Jay-Z want them? And then they responded with, well, we asked the city and the city said no. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. But if you're looking at it from lyrical ability, if you're looking at it from performances, and let me say something right there. Y'all stop trying to pull up one or two performances where he wasn't doing that good. There ain't no damn artist that's 100% all the time. I seen some Michael Jackson shit when he was younger where he was mailing it the fuck in compared to who he is. Okay, and he's the greatest performer of all time to me. I've seen some shit with Chris Brown, who's damn near up there to me as a performer where he was kind of mailing it the fuck in. Y'all stop with the show the other 20 things that he's done. Show the fact that his last tour was sold out. People screaming on every word that he said, whether he remembered the lyrics or not. They know it for his ass. The mental gymnastics to try and say that he didn't deserve that is bullshit. When he's from there, his cultural relevance to hip hop in general is leagues above where Kendrick's is at. Y'all miss me with that shit. I don't care who can rap better, who you feel rap better. The cultural significance of Wayne. Carrying Louisiana after No Limit was really defunct and didn't have anybody out really doing anything but maybe a Mystical in the early 2000s. Nobody wasn't listening to P anymore, so stop the bullshit. After that, for real, he wasn't. Troy was running rough on them niggas. Pastor Troy. They didn't respond well to him. Okay. Then you got, like I said, cultural significance, man. What Wayne meant to hip hop. He carried hip hop for a 10-year stretch, man, where he was on everybody's song. That's the Make It Rain era. That's after the dedication mixtapes going into Carter 3 and all of that. Make It Rain was the Fat Joe song. That's what I call it, the Make It Rain era. This man was on everybody's song, rapping, all that. Not to mention the fact that he is one of the biggest reasons for having Nicki, who is one of the greatest female MCs of all time. And whether you like Drake or not, his significance on hip hop during his time, carrying the torch. And miss me with all the Drake bullshit because y'all was sucking his dick when he was killing Meek Mill and them, and when he was going back to back. Y'all was riding his coattails. So you can't tell me Wayne should have been in the Super Bowl. And let me tell you something else. Just because you rap does not mean you know what the fuck you talking about. There are rappers that don't study hip hop that can't tell you who KRS-One is. I'm going to let that sit. So just because you rap don't mean, oh, you on Facebook and yeah. Okay, them niggas, they jocking you, okay? I'm going to say it. Okay, how good a lyricist, how good of a rapper you is, bruh, it's a difference in judging shit and knowing the information of something and you rapping it. So a lot of people can read a book. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of people can get out there and they can do it, but it's very few people that can do both. I think you need some of both in what you're talking. You need to know what you're talking about some in order to say something on this, especially this type of subject. Not just I rap so I know what I'm talking about. Last thing I want to talk about is I got to talk about these artists here in the city and all this complaining that y'all niggas is doing. You won't play my song. He won't do this for me. He won't do that for me. He won't. Let me tell y'all something. Don't nobody owe you shit. That's why I don't stage my show on having to have music. You're going to hear my voice, whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, you're going to tune right back out. But I'm not going to make my show about music and keep doing, keep telling y'all, turn in your music, turn in your music, turn in your music. Look, if you want it played, cool. If you don't want it played, it is what it is. When I'm at the radio station, we'll just go with them top 40 again. Because y'all still ain't sending your clean music like you're supposed to. I don't know what it is, especially in this city, the arrogance of mediocrity. And that's being nice. So if you don't like our podcast, let me go ahead and say this. I still know I'm fucking good. I still know I can get on the show with any other fucking podcaster in this city. And honestly, I'll do them. But it ain't even about that because I ain't going after nobody. But I'm saying I can hold my own. A lot of y'all artists can't say that. If I put you in there on a song with a Mark Hall or something, or with a C Black, they're going to destroy y'all asses. Make you look dumb as fuck. Y'all been coddled too goddamn much. Y'all get judged by somebody. If they say your song is good, they're the greatest person in the world. If they say you need to work on something or whatever, oh, fuck that, man. I don't know. Y'all got to come better. Y'all got to do better, man. We're not going to grow. There's a lot of talent. There is talent here. But we're not going to grow if you don't want to do better. There's people jumping my inbox. Hey, man, you seem like you stuttered a lot today. Like, what was going on? I had a lot on my mind. I'm working on it. I'm going to do better next time. Okay, it seemed like your point, you didn't quite have your facts with this. What happened with this? Oh, I did. I might not have said it on there, so I'm going to try to make sure that I get it next time. Okay, cool. I will try to work on myself and what it is that I'm bringing to the table. Y'all come with the same sounding songs, working with the same guys. You're not putting no money behind your songs, and then you get mad when nobody don't pick you up to come perform or do something. I don't give a damn if, I do care. You want people to watch your stuff. You want people to listen to your stuff. I get it. This is a form of artistry too. But every day I'm trying to add something different. You know what I'm saying? Every day. I done learned last episode, I learned how to use my little digital, change my voice. Yo, I can change my voice with a robot.
Do a little song. Talk a little deep. That's what I'm learning. Learning my equipment.
Let me stop that. But I'm learning my equipment so I can be better. That's all we got to do, y'all. So, okay, recap of everything that we talked about today. This wasn't going to be too long. I'm just trying to get more content out here on a regular basis, give y'all something to look at for a minute when you was looking at this debate. School safety. Recap on that. School safety. These kids matter. What can we do to make them safer? Let's talk to our school board. Let's try to get more cops there. If we have to spend some money out of this splice or out of this, whatever we got to do to get more security for our kids. Okay, next. Let's make sure that we teach the teachers how to protect if anything does happen. How to lock these doors properly where you can't come in. You might not have time to get your keys straight in there. Okay. Thirdly, I want an independent board set up with security agents, people who know how to and can teach. Like maybe they'll walk into school and they'll see, okay, all right, this is the entry point that's weak right here. You might need to set a classroom up right here where something can be seen. Okay, the cops needs to have a desk that's somewhere here so they can sit down. This will be where is the best entry point. It will discourage someone. Now they're going to have to walk all the way around. By the time they walk all the way around, that's more time that the person could be seen. That type of stuff. That's what we need to do. And we need to come together and use our voice and say we want our kids to be safe. Also, the little girl that called in and did that bomb threat or said she was going to shoot some people at Columbus High School. See, my children go to Columbus High School, young lady. And I hope you are, what is it? Because she's 17. I hope that she gets the fullest extent of the law. Push it as hard as you can push it. But they're not, because I heard through the grapevine that her parents have money. There's somebody important, quote unquote important. That's what my daughters keep telling me. And everybody keeps saying she's going to get a slap on the wrist. So, yeah, let that have been mine. So I already tell you what she is. But anyway, let that have been mine. I bet mine probably would still be in jail now. All right, we also talked about the Super Bowl with Lil Wayne and him, my feelings about why he should be the representative. That'd be the perfect time for a Hot Boys reunion. Yes, they have songs, they have hits that go perfectly. You could bring out other people from Louisiana, other artists who have collaborated with them. Wayne has collaborated with a bunch of artists, so anybody could be there. Been the perfect time. All right, and then what is a freak? Basically, what we're saying is that was the last subject. What is a freak? Basically, there's no official definition. So let's not keep gatekeeping and trying to act like because your level is a little higher or lower than mine, you're like you're better or something. Let's don't do that. It's a recap of it. As usual, man, if you want to reach your boy, you know what I'm saying? I'm EJ Thomas. You can reach me on IG at EJ Thomas 706. You can find me on the Hot Seat with EJ Thomas, or you can find me on YouTube. You can find me EJ Thomas on Facebook, and the Hot Seat also on there. Hey, look, I love y'all. Thank everybody for listening, watching. Hopefully we'll get some more comments next time. I wasn't on there as much as I normally be. Shout out. Oh man, I'm just looking at the things now, man. Shout out to Darius Dozier, man. What's up, my boy? Shout out to Tamara Nicole. Yeah, man, this one was gonna be a little quicker, man. Y'all should have pulled in on your boy a little earlier. But hey, get at me next time. I'm gonna have some people on next time. It won't be a solo outing. I kind of try to give a lot of varied things because I want to have all types of content. So hey, shout out to everybody. Tamara said she was in class. Yeah, man, she going to school for esthetician. Also got some things to be promoting. We got some more stuff coming up. Center Stage has Free from Work Fridays every Friday now. If you have a ID from any type of like working place, if you got an ID, bring your ID in. You get in for free, and you get $5 drinks all night long, man. And I mean, it's starting early. It's starting like at 7, so you got time to go home, watch that ass real quick. Hey, get ready to get to the club, man. All right, I'm out, y'all. I love y'all. Let's get it.